The Arena, a multi-platform gaming news podcast, is brought to you by, well, of course, you. If you want to learn more about how you can support the show, go to patreon.com/thearena_podcast.
Hit it! That's what I'm talking about. Wait!
Okay, now, from the beginning.
Hit it, boys.
Hey everyone, welcome into The Arena, a multi-platform gaming news podcast. This is episode 90. I'm your host, Expat, along with my co-hosts, Burly and Gaming and Turn-Based Carl. Carl, how you doing, man?
90, wow.
Episode 90.
Good.
Yeah, we're getting closer and closer to 100.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I'm doing great, man. It's only a day away for the big showcase.
Yeah. So a day and an early morning for me out here.
It's true. Yeah.
So for you guys during, we were talking about this on Twitter. It's like you guys are going to be either drinking beer or taking shots, and it's like I have to refrain because like about 4 hours later I have to go off to work. So yeah, oh well.
Well, you can have one beer. Live a little.
Yeah, right.
A sip every time Game Pass is said or shown on screen.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Yeah. There you go.
You
guys can take the sips of shots and stuff. Yeah.
I know, right? Look, if you limit yourself to the one drink, I mean, it'll be gone pretty quick. But
yeah, exactly.
That's the case.
Yeah, there you go. And Burly, how are you doing, man?
Can't for the event tomorrow, and I still can't.
Yeah.
Episode 90.
Yeah, episode 90, man. Yeah, and of course, as you all you video viewers can see, I have my new webcam going here, and I got the virtual background, so you're going to be seeing that a lot more. So, yeah, looking forward to the future of this show, and of course tomorrow for the Xbox showcase. So, yeah, but in this show, we're going to be talking about the Summer Game Fest, all of the announcements of Summer Game Fest, and also Xbox has had another announcement. We're going to talk about that briefly before jumping into all the Summer Game Fest news. But before we talk about what we've been playing this last week, before we get into all of the Summer Game Fest event news, here's a brief word about where you can find the podcast.
Before the crew discuss what they've been playing, this episode of The Arena, a multi-platform gaming news podcast, and the post-show, in audio and video formats, will be going to Patreon in early access for one day after recording. So if you would like to support the show and become a patron at the entry tier 1 level at $1 per month and get early access to every episode and post-show in audio and video formats, as well as watch or listen ad-free, please visit patreon.com/thearena_podcast for further details. Weekly on Sundays, the podcast will be uploaded to all free podcast services. Weekly on Wednesdays for the post-show, where you can find us on any podcast app for iOS or Android, Spotify, Amazon Music, and in video format on our YouTube channel, The Arena Productions. For the audio version, just download your favorite podcast app or open Spotify and search for The Arena, a multi-platform gaming news podcast. Subscribe, follow us, post a review, and leave us questions, comments, and feedback if you like, if that feature is available there, and spread the word about the podcast. We also have a Discord called The Arena Podcast, where you can join and chat with the Arena Podcast community, and the podcast website is at thearenapodcast.podbean.com, where you can follow us and leave questions and comments as well. Finally, you can also follow us on Twitter at The Arena AMPGNP, as well as on Instagram at TheArena_podcast. Now, back to the show.
Okay, guys, I'll start with what I've been playing. I'm playing a game called Far Changing Tides, and that is on Game Pass, and it is the successor to Far Lone Sails. And one of our Discord members and one of our patrons, Tuil, actually, a shout out to Tuil, he brought that to my attention. Far Lone Sails came out in like 2018. But I don't think it's on Game Pass. So unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to play the first one. But I'm playing Far Changing Tides now, and it's basically in a post-apocalyptic world, and you're basically swimming in the first few minutes of the game. You're like a little boy, and it kind of reminds me of Inside in a way. But you finally get to like this little kind of a boat, like a metal boat, or kind of an ironclad boat, I guess you could say. And then you start going through the environment of this post-apocalyptic world. You see like this little city. It kind of reminds you of Venice, Italy. Think of Venice, Italy, in a post-apocalyptic world. I guess there's just a bunch of empty buildings and people leaving like clip hangings of clothes and stuff like that. But the juxt of the game is you're searching for supplies and you're upgrading your boat to make it into a steamship from where I am now. And yeah, you have to find gasoline to be or like coal to be able to use to power your steam engine to get through certain areas of the game. So it's a puzzle game basically, where you're searching for supplies as well. So, and there's no combat or anything like that in this game. So it's just the environment, yourself, the boy, and the boat, basically. So that's pretty fun. I've been playing that, and I also started playing Corvus.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, on Game Pass as well. I just started the first. I finished the first mission where you go through like this big space hangar, and you're getting the power cells, and then there's a little bit of combat. But yeah, I mean it's another kind of like a space flight type of game where you're just shooting enemies, and you're going on particular missions like cargo runs, things like that. So yeah, I've been playing that, and so that's fun. But I'm really enjoying Far Changing Tides so far. So anyway, let's go to you, Burley. What have you been playing this last week?
I haven't been playing as much because commuting back and forth to the office has eaten up a lot of my time. I finished up Ghostwire Tokyo. That was a lot of fun. I will hopefully early next month, because with how things are going with me in the office, I'll get the footage and we'll do an extra take on that to get some real thoughts. But I can say quickly, if you can get the game on sale right now for PC or PlayStation 5 and you really want to play it from what you've seen, play it. If you're waiting, keep waiting. That's all I'll say, because it'll all make sense, because I can't go into too much detail right now. And I've been continuing on with the Nuzlocke run of Pokemon Platinum. We got the 6th badge. No deaths in that gym. I got lucky. The RNG gods blessed me.
Nice.
Good stuff, man. It's a challenge.
Yeah. And Carl, what have you been playing, man?
I mean, I played more War Tales. Nothing really new to say about that. I jumped into the demo of Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh, how's that?
So, what I love about it is, and I totally understand now, the appeal of like making these type of spin-offs, because it 100% nails the aesthetic of like the other game that it's spinning off of, like Fire Emblem 3 Houses. So like you got the user interface elements, you got the sound effects, you got music, you got voice acting, you got characters, of course. You have even special ability attacks, the types of weapons, the weapon like balance of like swords has an advantage over whatever, I forgot.
Swords over
bows against flying guys. I remember that, and I think spears against swords, whatever it is. It's in there. I mean, and I love all of that, and they even do like, you get to choose male or female for your character. And then when they talk about the Byleth, you get to choose if Byleth is male or female in this as well. Again,
nice.
So it's cool. So like you can set up sort of like however you want. Like it's similar to the other game. It takes place actually prior to so far at this point the events of Fire Emblem 3 houses, which is interesting so far. But my one issue is that the gameplay to me feels pretty brain dead. Like it's okay. It's like I think I want to play it because I love the other game, right? Because I love Three Houses and it's got all that stuff. Characters. Even like I think the character models look better in this than they do in the original game.
Yes.
So it's cool. And it's cool to be able to like just walk around more areas with those characters because, you know, in that game, you're very limited to just walking around that one area, the Garreg Mach. But in this one, of course, you have, you know, environments which are kind of empty. There's really nothing in them. That's the thing with the gameplay of this. It's like a bunch of empty areas that you run around, you kill a bunch of enemies. There's a boss or stronger guy that you gotta like use your special abilities on and destroy him. And then I'm sure it gets a little bit more in depth because you can actually like plan. There's a map and you can like you can order your units to attack certain areas. They're doing some interesting stuff. You know, it's not as simple as you might think. But again, like actually playing the gameplay feels like I'm not doing much at all. Like it doesn't. Yeah, I can block and I can dodge, but like I don't know. Maybe it'll get harder, but I wouldn't feel like if it got harder that I would enjoy it because it doesn't feel that fun to play. I don't feel like I'm actually really getting good control of my character so much. Like if like I wouldn't feel great about it and be like, yeah, I really dodged that attack. I'd be like, no, I just kind of like spam the button or something. It just wouldn't feel good because there's not much to it, you know? I feel like they need to tone it down because I know it's supposed to be like fighting all these massive amount of enemies, but like those other enemies are stupid and pointless. So they're nothing to you. You just kill all these random nonsense guys. And it's just like an annoyance after a while because I'm walking up to them like you knock a bunch of them down and some of them die and some of them get back up and they're not dead yet. I'm like, how much health do these guys have? I don't even know, and it doesn't matter because I could just I could just ignore them and just go fight the main guy because they're just so irrelevant. So like it's just a weird thing. I always have like that's the way that genre is. Yeah. It would be cool if they tried to do more with the gameplay. But they're doing a great job with everything else. So kudos for that.
If it's anything like the first Warriors game, they will add a little bit to it, but not that much. That's the thing with these Warrior games. Like I buy one every once in a blue moon, and it's got to be for the skin. Like I bought the One Piece one that came out like 2 years ago, and that was just a lot of fun because you could just go around as the One Piece characters with powers and just zany and just go through the map. You fight the enemies. You have to ignore a lot of the others because they don't matter.
Yeah, it's the thing. Yeah, but like I could see like you know if I like Persona, like playing Persona Strikers would be fun.
Yeah.
Strikers was a lot of fun.
Yeah, because I'm sure they nail the aesthetic of Persona 5, which is something people love also. You know.
Oh yeah, they nailed Persona 5 in that.
Yep. All right. So we're keeping our list of the weekly Newsbeat topics very short this week because obviously the Summer Game Fest was took up a lot of course the news and with all of the announcements and everything that we're going to be going over in this episode. So but just briefly, let's go over one thing that Xbox actually came out with. So Xbox and Bethesda Showcase extended. So, according to Will Tuttle, the editor-in-chief of Xbox Wire, the second showcase will, quote, share new trailers, take deeper looks at the news from the Xbox and Bethesda Games Showcase, and speak with some of your favorite game creators, end quote. So, yeah, that's the information we have on this. So it's going to be on June 14th from 10 a.m. Pacific Time, 1 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 p.m. British Standard Time. So any thoughts on this, guys? And of course, we are going to be bringing you the Xbox Bethesda Games Showcase, and I will leave this running below here. This is our ticker for where you can find us doing the multi-stream for that, which we're going to be doing tomorrow. So for me out here in Japan, it's going to be 2 a.m. on Monday. So, but for Burly and Carl, it's going to be 1 in the afternoon on Sunday. So hope you can catch us over on our YouTube channel or over on our Twitch channel or on Twitter.
You mean
so,
you mean 12? I think it's 12 for us on Carl for the
No,
one
it's
on
1.
12.
it's 1 p.m.
On 12?
Burly.
Oh, it's 1 p.m.
Eastern time.
Eastern time.
Yeah.
Burly, have you changed your time zone?
Yes, I'm in. I'm in Sith time.
Okay.
It's in Canada time.
Yeah. But anyway, guys, what do you think? It's cool that they're going to have this extended showcase. So we might hopefully get some even more extended gameplay, hopefully, of some of the games that they're going to show there. What do you think? Carl, I'll start with you. What do you think?
They did this last year.
Yeah.
And the show last year is definitely something that's for like someone who's really into the Xbox platform.
Mhm.
It's not something I would say that the average gamer should watch, because that's where they showed State of Decay update, which State of Decay 2, which is like, for most people that's not a big thing because it's an older game and it's not getting like huge content drops. It's just it's still, there's no paid extra stuff on that, right? Everything is still free. So
Right.
it's things like that you're gonna get. Maybe it'll be a little different this year. Hopefully, maybe we'll get something that they, let's say, didn't want to put as much time in. Like, it would be cool if Starfield, right? Like, can they, with the Bethesda show, they would have done maybe like what do they normally do, like 20 minutes or something crazy, right? Of like when they revealed Fallout 4.
And it's still a half hour.
Yeah. Which they're not going to do, I don't expect, in the regular Xbox showcase. But maybe they do like, 8 minutes there, right? Let's say. And then here they'll do another like 15, Starfield.
Maybe. Yeah.
That would be awesome. That would be something worth watching for sure on this showcase.
Yeah, I'm wondering how, because they didn't say exactly how long it's going to be. We know that the Xbox Bethesda games showcase is going to be a 90-minute show. So
actually confirmed now by what's his name, Aaron Greenberg, to be 95 minutes.
Okay, yeah. So I mean, maybe this will be similar. Hopefully.
I think they said it's about an hour and a half too, but I don't think they give a full official number.
Yeah. Burly, your thoughts on this?
I'm looking forward to this. I won't be able to watch it live, but for some of the games that they're going to show in their initial thing, to get a little bit more and get some more info on this, that's always great to see. As Carl said, the average gamer, they're not going to care. But if you see something in this event, let's say they show, I don't know, they reveal State of Decay 3, and they show us something on that, they could give you another 10 minutes on that.
Reveal a game.
Yeah, I know. I picked the word. I picked the worst one. I should have went with Starfield or something like that, and show us gameplay and extended and all that.
Yeah. Like, as far as reveals, I would assume like it could be something like Age of Empires coming to console, right? Like.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff like that, like smaller, extra stuff that I don't necessarily know that they're going to show at the main show. Even that, like, As Dusk Falls game that actually was apparently shown at the Tribeca show, which I didn't watch. I don't expect to see more of that at the main show, but you could show that again at the Xbox Extended Showcase. Things like that.
Yeah, and I think we're going to get more probably conversations with the developers as well.
Right, yeah.
During this extended showcase, so we might with the Bethesda crew that's working on Starfield, we might get some, maybe 10 minutes of discussion on the gameplay or something like that. I don't know. But I mean, probably we'll get more developer talk during this thing as well. So because I think the showcase that we're going to be multi-streaming, hopefully it's going to be just game, and not much developer talk. I mean, we might get a little bit of that, but hopefully that will be saved for the extended showcase.
I expect it to be similar to last year. Maybe with the exception of, like, we'll probably see Todd Howard. I'm sure he'll at least talk a little bit. You know.
Oh yeah, he'll be.
You
there.
want to do stuff like that?
Yeah, he'll be there, of course. Yeah. So, all right, so let's get into it. So, of course, as you can see above me here, the announcements and reactions for Summer Game Fest, our topic of the show. We're going to just delve right into it. So, of course, this is from gamesradar.com here, and I'm going to show this to you. I will open up some of the gameplay that they showed of some of these games. We're not going to show clips of everything, but we'll try to comment on most of the stuff that was announced. But the major game trailers and things like that we'll show here on the podcast here. But anyway, and these are not in particular order of what they actually showed from start to finish. But I mean, this is pretty much everything that was announced. So let's go ahead and start. Of course, Street Fighter 6. And, this is the thing about this show that was kind of a pet peeve of mine. You saw this world premiere. This was not a world premiere. They showed this at the State of Play. It's not a world. If somebody shows it before you, don't put world premiere on there, unless it's another trailer, which it wasn't. It was the same stuff that they showed at the State of Play. So I mean,
Well, I mean, they didn't show Guile at the State of Play.
Okay.
So
All right.
World premiere of Guile.
But you know what I'm
character
saying.
You already know.
The character everyone cares
You know what
about.
I'm saying. I mean, it's like they showed
America,
Street
baby.
Fighter 6 at the State of Play. So it's like a world premiere. It's a world premiere game we're showing off. But anyway, Street Fighter 6, your thoughts, guys. Yeah. What'd you think?
Street Fighter 6, man. I mean, it looks really good. I'm excited for Street Fighter 6. I'm an OG like fighting game guy, like, right? Because I grew up through all of it. I mean, I was playing Street Fighter 2 in the arcades when I was a kid. I was terrible at it, but I played it. I even played Street Fighter 1. Actually, there was a movie theater that had it at one point, and I mean that game was terrible, but I played it. I mean, Street Fighter is a great franchise, and I'm happy to see it looking awesome and coming back to Xbox and being everywhere. My only criticism is, man, I really wish they would go back to the less bulky look. Because I mean, Guile just looks like a monster. Like, look at that guy's body; it's absurd.
Burly, are you going to play this?
Probably. Like the only way I'd play this is if it's on Game Pass or free on PlayStation Plus. Like, I like these games, but here's the thing: I suck at these kind of games, and it's like I never want to spend $90, or in the case of, I'm sure this, when it comes, if you wanted to buy this on the Xbox or PS5, you're going to have that $10 extra tax.
Yeah.
Next gen tax. So it'd be costing me over $100. And that's before you have to buy any of the extra characters and any of that. So I'd be like, yeah, I'll pass.
Yeah.
It looked good. Nice to see Guile in the game.
Yeah. Okay. Next is my favorite game of the entire Summer Game Fest, and I cannot wait to play this game, man. Boy, oh boy. Yeah, the Callisto Protocol, man. I mean, just, this is basically Dead Space meets Mortal Kombat. Just the way.
So we're getting the Mortal Kombat theme in here? All right.
No, I'm saying, man, I mean, the death scenes in this that they showed, I mean, the death scene especially, it puts the Lara Croft death scenes in the current or the recent Tomb Raider games to shame. I mean, yeah, I mean, and it's funny at the beginning of the of the showcase, you see there are some scenes that might, be, discomforting to some people. So, it's like a viewer discretion is advised, and yeah, definitely, man, for this. Yeah. So
like that robot thing, whatever that is.
Oh yeah, that robot, man. But anyway, your guys' thoughts. I mean, I can't wait to play this game, man.
Yeah.
It's looking good. It has me interested.
That guy
wonder if
there
they'll-
looked like Chris Hemsworth. Kind of, yeah. So, but anyway.
I wonder if
Well,
they'll go the old Dead Space route with the marketing, with that where they get the moms to try and play the game.
Uh-huh.
Anyone remember those? Because I remember
No, I
seeing those
don't.
on
I
the
don't remember
internet and the TV
No.
ads.
Yeah, but that
Yeah.
that gun that the guy had in the one trailer that they showed later, the one it's like a magnetic gun that like you can pick the guy up and then shoot him right into the blades, the fans and stuff. Yeah, that was pretty.
Oh
cool.
yeah. I mean, it's
Yeah.
great to see all that, and that's the thing with
Yeah.
this game. You hear right with the fan blade,
Mhm.
and there was a
Yeah.
guy who jumped out from like glass and broke through the glass, and
Yeah.
you know, what I said when we first saw it was that like I wasn't sure, and I needed to see gameplay. And now that I have,
Yeah.
I'm 100% sold on this game. Like,
Yeah, the
it looks.
gameplay was-
I think it looks
Yeah.
fantastic. I like that
Oh.
you can, of course, shoot off limbs and stuff, and now you've got like. It looks like they're improving melee in a significant way. I mean, look at
Oh,
that!
shit,
Just
that
ripped that
head.
guy's
Yeah.
head off,
Yeah.
in half. My God! Wait, can you get? Oh, it's in the second part. The one where he gets like sucked into the spinning thing. Oh my God, that was brutal. Can you? The other trailer's not there.
The
I don't
other
think
trailer,
it is.
unfortunately, is not there. Yeah. So
Where they
but,
showed
yeah.
like more straight gameplay.
Oh yeah.
My God,
Yeah.
it looks really good. I'm
Oh.
super excited now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to know like maybe the scope of it.
Yeah.
Is there? I mean, I assume there will be. I assume that they're gonna go like at least Dead Space 1 level of like weapon stuff, attachments and things or adjustments and
Yeah.
the length of the game. I suppose they'll try to hit something like that.
Yeah.
They got. I mean, they worked on that. They know.
Yeah.
Well, how long was Dead Space 1, would you guys say?
I'd say about 12 to 15 hours.
Okay.
Sounds about right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So you're a good amount of content.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you saw in that trailer, unfortunately for all you viewers, we don't have that trailer for you that they showed of the gameplay and all, but it was just similar to Dead Space where, the monster comes up and you shoot the arms off and then it keeps crawling at you, right up to you, just like in the original Dead Space, but blowing off those like sword limbs
Right. Exactly.
and everything. Yeah. So but
Yeah, love
But-
that. That's what I needed to see. I needed to see that they were doing interesting stuff with the enemies, and
yeah.
they are definitely.
But
are.
what's interesting though, I'm wondering, like when you saw the death, where he gets caught in the fans and just off. I mean, I wonder if you have to start from the beginning again, or if you start at the point where your save was. They didn't say anything about that, so.
I don't.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know what the save system's like. I mean, modern games are usually very good at checkpointing,
Right.
so I don't expect that to be an issue. Yeah.
Okay, next up, Stormgate. So here's another one here. So I'll go ahead and play that for you. So what'd you guys think of Stormgate?
I don't.
So.
I'm trying to remember
Do
what
you
Stormgate
remember?
was.
This one.
Giant game. Okay.
Yeah. So Frost Giant Studios, finally revealed its debut game. It's a brand new RTS from ex-Blizzard veterans, best known for their work developing classic real-time strategy games like StarCraft 2 and Warcraft 3. Stormgate is still in the pre-alpha stage of development, but what the studio has shown so far of the Unreal Engine 5 powered multiplayer-focused RTS is certainly impressive. Stormgate is set to launch into beta in 2023 for PC as a free-to-play game with 2 races and a suite of campaign, co-op, and competitive mode options. So we just got like a cutscene here. I mean, that's basically all that they showed. We didn't see any gameplay or anything from it.
When I saw this character, I was like, Recore 2?
Not that
it really looks like that, but like it just has that sort of feel to her. But no, like RTS games, I mean, not really my thing. But like I they're good. They're good. They're fun. If it's people from Blizzard, that's good because they used to make some really great guns.
Yeah.
Old Blizzard games. Yeah. No. You know what the trailer's lacking though? Pylons. I need additional pylons.
Yeah. Okay, next
Farms.
up.
Okay, Burly Farms.
Next up, Aliens Dark Descent. So another Alien game, guys. So
This trailer was funny because I'm like, oh, okay, another shooter alien game, whatever.
Yeah.
And then they show like a brief couple seconds of what the gameplay looked like. I'm like, oh, okay, it's like a isometric style, like maybe twin stick shooter or something like that. I'm like, okay, that actually makes it more interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So launches on PC and console in 2023. So yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, you had the was it the Fire Team Elite that came out earlier this year? I think it was like in February or January or something like that. Now you got this coming.
And that's the shooter you want.
That's kind of the multiplayer. Yeah. So, but I don't know, man. We'll see. But,
jump to the end. Let's see that couple seconds of what it looks like.
Actual gameplay.
Gameplay.
Like really quick. They're like, oh, hey, by the way, this is. It's
like they didn't want gameplay.
They didn't want people to see it or something. I mean, because look, realistically, you get it. Like those type of games don't really show well, or people don't necessarily get excited when they see that.
Yeah,
it's really at like the way end of the trailer, like for like 2 seconds.
Yeah, there we go.
There we go. Yeah. A bunch of aliens.
There it is. There it is. Look at that. A couple seconds.
Yeah, just a couple of seconds of gameplay. Yeah. So, yeah. All right. So next up, Call of Duty Modern Warfare. We got some gameplay of that. So I'll go ahead and play it for you. What'd you guys think of the trailer for what they showed of the gameplay here? Typical Call of Duty, I think. Yeah. So
I was gonna say this is actually a trailer I have not seen.
Yeah. And it's weird. It's like in Arabic too. So
yeah, look at the one you got there. Yeah. Man, this was the trailer where I was like, could we skip? Like, it looks great. Okay, like visually it looks great, but I'm like, it's just more generic military action to me, and it went on far too long.
Yeah.
I just had enough. Okay. Like, if you like this game, you like these games, and I'm sure it plays great because these are the best feeling, first person shooters of this type. But
okay, I think this is actually a mission from the original Modern Warfare too.
Yeah,
where you're going on the because this is giving me I forget the name of the level, but this is giving me so many vibes here. If they take the quality that they did with the Modern Warfare 2019, I think it was, if they do that quality again, like that level of quality, like because I actually enjoyed the campaign and the missions in that game. You do that, do what you did with Ghosts, the Ghost Black Ops thing that they did with the PS5, using the adaptive triggers for the PlayStation, all that. Use stuff like that and fix the multiplayer problems with bots and stuff. It could be a really good.
Yeah. I was trying to figure out the marketing situation on it because I know that was sort of in question. You got the PlayStation button prompts there. I saw the square.
Yeah.
But at the end of the trailer, they didn't actually say specifically PlayStation, right? They said getting the beta, whatever, but they didn't actually even say that, PlayStation has the early beta. So a little confusing to me. It's not 100% telling me that there's definitely a marketing partnership, although there's the beta. That's weird.
We'll probably hear more information at Gamescom probably on that. So Gamescom, and of course Keeley is doing another event for Gamescom, of course, opening night live. So you might get some more information on it there. So anyway, next up, Flashback 2. So this is kind of a, blast from the past for some people.
It certainly is, yeah. I mean, when they started the trailer and you had this text, 30 years later, and it was like bringing back something old, and I'm like, is that Flashback? I'm like, no, that can't be, right? That would make sense. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I guess it is. Look at that.
Yeah, good stuff. Yeah, it's due on all consoles at some point later this year, so we'll hear some more information on it soon. So.
It was an interesting game of his time, and I think it definitely needs, like, nowadays you could probably make a much better version of this, obviously, but like back then it was trying to emulate the like old, what was it, like Prince of Persia, Out of This World sort of style game.
Yeah.
And it wanted to do more than those games, but it was when you played it on like console, it was like very limited what you thought that could really do.
Yeah. All right, so next up, let me get to that here. So Fort Solis. So yeah, we'll go ahead and play some of that here. So Fort Solis. So Troy Baker came on stage. Troy Baker, of course, he's almost in every game as a voice actor, pretty much. So it's an action-heavy first-person shooter that sees prolific voice actor Baker sharing the mic green screen with Roger Clark, the man who brought Red Dead Redemption's Arthur Morgan to life on the American frontier. On screen, we saw the protagonist trapped on an alien abandoned space station where things have inevitably gone south. So yeah, I mean that's one of the things about this showcase. We had a lot of space games in it.
Yeah, and horror themed too, because
And
this
horror
looks horror themed also.
Yeah, very survival horror.
Yeah.
So
hey, I'm gonna just take a minute, okay, guys? Just keep going. It's fine.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So,
Well, that's the new thing now is space and horror.
right.
That's what that's what the people want. We no longer we don't want as many shooters. We want space and we want horror.
Right.
Yeah, this looks all right. But we didn't we saw nothing gameplay really, so it's like it's one of those things we'll just wait till we get something.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So but okay, next up, let me get to it here. If I can get to it. Let me go ahead and refresh the page there. So let me get down to
Like Outriders, wasn't it?
Outriders, yep. Outriders World Slayer. So I'll go ahead and play a little bit of this for you. And read it for you. So between the showcase's big reveals, we also saw the next step for People Can Fly's Outriders, new slice of DLC named World Slayer. Set in frozen, icy area, it appears that a rift in the world is transforming its inhabitants in new ways, which, as you might expect, results in a lot of chaos and violence. Most notably, a poison ivy-like adversary spawned some Lovecraftian, Cthulhu-esque tentacles. Went to town on everything before her in the most devastating of ways, due on June 30th. So, Burly, what do you think of this? And just more like you don't see any gameplay. It's just another, CG trailer here.
Yeah, just another CG trailer. I'm still shocked that they're making another campaign for Outriders, because I don't think Outriders did that well. If I remember, we talked about it on the morning show. Like they put the game on Game Pass day one to help, just to get the free money and help get people in the ecosystem.
Right.
But I don't think Outriders did well. So like, hey, if you're an Outriders fan, like I tried the beta, I couldn't get into it.
Yeah,
just not my cup of tea.
Yeah, I played it for a little bit when it came to Game Pass there. Yeah, but just
if you're into this, there's a new campaign. Wondering if it's going to be a day one Game Pass or if you've got the game through Game Pass. Tough crap.
Yeah, definitely.
But coming out at the end of the month.
Yeah,
that's a little like, okay, we're announcing it here. It's like okay, and it's coming at the end of the month. Like you'd think they would have built to it and teased.
Right.
We would have had more.
Yeah. Next up, Witchfire. So so this is a game that was shown at the Game Awards back in 2017. So developer The Astronauts is promising the Witchfire will feature no cutscenes, will instead route its action through a constant and demanding stream of enemies. So should launch into early access later this year. So what did you think of this one, Burly? And Carl, you back now? Yeah. Yeah. So
when I saw this, I'm like, oh, is this what like a hexen would look like in modern time?
Yeah.
In some ways, not
Yeah.
not exactly, but
Yeah, definitely.
I like the enemies. That's the thing to me, like the things that they're doing. The guys with the chains there and stuff. It was interesting. I mean,
Some of these weapons look very Dishonored style, wouldn't you say?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, some of just the weapons. Yeah.
Well, these guys got like shields and
Yeah, no.
maces, and they're doing like weird magic and stuff. It's
Right.
a good mix of styles. I think is really interesting. And visually, it looks like impressive. Look at that background, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
that one, right there.
But it's very interesting. They're saying no cutscene. That's very interesting that they're going to do no cutscene for this game.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I think that tells you there's very little story.
But hey, you know what? I'm at least happy they're just upfront with this. And you know what? We got actual gameplay in the trailer. We didn't just sit and get CG crap. So I that's something I've grown tired as the years have gone on. Is like, okay, you get 2 seconds of gameplay, but a minute and a half of story crap.
Yeah.
It's like.
Well, I just have to say this about the Game Fest overall. I mean, it was fun seeing these games, but a lot of these games we knew about already.
Oh yeah,
and we had seen a long time ago, like the Witchfire game there. But then let me just finish, Carl, and then you'd get like a snippet of gameplay, mostly CG trailer, and then you would get Keeley on stage with the developers talking for like 2-3 minutes. Cut that out and then put more gameplay in if you can. I think that would improve the show in a way. I think. Carl, what were you going to say? Yeah.
If Keeley set the expectation ahead of time, which I thought was interesting. He wanted to make a point that it was a lot of stuff that was already revealed or announced.
Right.
If you want to talk about overall stuff, like you were just saying, I mean, I actually think they handled that really well as far as like the amount of time they had with the developers, because I do appreciate that. I think like if they want to be on stage and talk about their game, that's really nice for them. Some of them, like was it Glenn Schofield, is that his name, for Callisto Protocol?
Yeah. And he was up there and he was complimenting Keeley, on his years of being a representative of games and things like that. And that was really cool.
Like that felt like a good moment to me. Like he's someone who worked on a big game, and then whatever reason, like it wasn't working on that. Like I don't think he worked on Dead Space 2. Yeah. And now he's back and he's doing it again. And he's like very happy and appreciative to be there. That's great. I like to see that. Right. And just the feeling, I forgot which game it was, one of the smaller ones, of them seeing the person on stage and seeing the logo of their game like all over that stage, like huge. Like that must feel great for someone who's like not a huge AAA dev, or even maybe someone who is, like, to be there on stage with like the thing you've created is like encircling you for everyone to see on display. That means something to me. I'm trying to think like empathetically how I would feel to be in that moment, and I think it's important.
Right.
Just don't go too far. Like
right.
I would say the Last of Us part was, I think, a little bit too long.
We're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that. Yeah, that's coming up later. So anyway, this game was interesting, and it's going to be coming to Game Pass, guys, and it was first. The development footage of this game first came out in 2013, I think it was. So Routine. So this is another survival horror type of game.
They said that, and I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. Never heard of this thing.
Yeah.
So
I never saw this game until this
tech,
trailer.
Creepy environment here. You're gonna see, but it's heading to PC, Xbox Series X, and Game Pass. It's yet to get a release window, but hopefully soon. It's been in development for 10 years. Yeah.
Think about it. They said 2013, right? That was the year the Xbox One and PS4 came out.
Yes.
So like that's when they first showed it, and now they're like, oh yeah, sorry, it's only on Series X and PC. Like, okay. But
we're coming back almost a decade later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A generation later. I mean, I like the design of the gun there.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. And I like this robot thing that you see. I mean, it looks interesting. It's gonna be on Game Pass, so it's one of those things where like, all right, I guess I can try it. But
Yeah.
probably a first-person
exactly.
shooter type thing. I mean,
You got this. Yeah. So, yeah.
for a minute, I was like, is it Terminator? Is that a Terminator?
Yeah. I was like, there you go. So, like a jump scare thing there. Yeah. So.
Yeah, that is
creepy.
Yeah.
A twitchy robot like.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. So, but anyway, so
yeah, good tone piece, I'd say.
Yeah. And next up, of course, we got this like kind of a commercial for Fall Guys, obviously. So, yeah, and it's on June 21st. It's going to be available pretty much everywhere. So now, so
and
finally,
free to play, yeah.
Finally, yeah, it's like it was, but yeah. So you can jump into a 60-player Fall Guys. Yeah. So yeah, we got that. I'm not gonna go showing any of that. We don't need to do that. So then yeah, High Water. So adventure strategy game that explores themes of climate change. So they briefly talked about that. So we'll go ahead and move on.
I don't remember that one.
Yeah. American Arcadia. So I don't know if you guys remember this one. I'll go ahead and play this one.
Yeah, I kind of don't remember that one either.
Yeah.
But I mean, I enjoyed the show. They had a lot of games. They showed a lot of games. I mean, that's the most important thing. And like, you can't blame them for like the content of what's in those games, right?
Right.
But oh yeah, this thing. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, another indie game from Out of the Blue Games and Raw Fury. Set in the 1970s retro futuristic metropolis, American Arcadia will take you into a world where all citizens lead a life of luxury, unaware they're being broadcast 24/7. So kind of like the Truman Show in a sense. Yeah. So, yeah. Interesting. So, yeah. American Arcadia. Right. So go ahead and stop that. Okay. And then next up, this one kind of reminded me because when they started showing the trailer, I thought it was the Dead Island, from like 2014 or something.
They were
kind
of making a joke of that.
Yeah, they were making a joke of it basically. So yeah, Goat Simulator. I'm not gonna show that, but anyway, they showed.
Funny,
you know what's funny?
E3.
Funny, there is no Goat Simulator 2.
Oh, okay. I was just gonna say, like, I didn't even know there was a 2.
Yeah, no, they're doing more jabs at like Dead Island and stuff. It's funny.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, and then next up, another big one that they announced, of course, Marvel's Midnight Suns. I'll go ahead and play some of that for you here. So, all of you video viewers.
I'll see. Okay,
you say Master of Puppets, of course.
So good. I love whenever they use metallic, and they used it for the Call of Duty trailer the other day.
Yeah. So for the PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X, Xbox One, and PC, the incoming tactical RPG showed off Spider-Man in motion, as well as central villain Lilith, the so-called Mother of Demons, flanked by mind-warped versions of Sabretooth, Scarlet Witch, Venom, and a quite frankly terrifying slant on the Hulk. So, yeah.
Yeah, you said like, oh, it's another big one. Like we saw this before, and again, they just showed like a CG trailer. They didn't show any gameplay, and I know we've seen gameplay for this, but actually, every time they show this game at an event, they don't show gameplay.
Yeah, it's interesting. So maybe it's still far off.
Well,
it's not though. It's just it's that type of game that they don't want to show gameplay because they know that the general population audience just doesn't particularly like that style of game. It's like it's a turn-based tactics card battle, in a card-based, thing.
Yeah, they're wanting to give you the illusion here that you're actually going to play as these characters, and they know like pressing square to actually do Spider-Man to web people up and stuff like that instead of using cards to do their actions.
Yeah, and I hate that. I actually want you to show more gameplay because I'm not.
Yeah.
I don't really like card stuff, so I'm not 100% convinced. Like I want to see more of how that system plays out, but I guess this isn't the place to show it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Could have had the dev come out there and like describe it and talk about it a bit and like reassure me. But no,
Right.
maybe not.
Next up, Cuphead, the delicious last course. Yes, of course, I've got my Cuphead shirt on. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this. I love Cuphead, and of course, season 2 is coming to Netflix, obviously. So they talked about that a little bit. So I'll show you the gameplay here. So of course, this was Keeley with the developer here, or actually, yeah. So let me go ahead and get this going here. So yeah. So a new sliver of typically hard-looking gameplay that looks very much business as usual against its also hard forerunner. In the short segment here, we're first shown the protagonist battling with hulking snowman-alike baddie before inflicting enough damage to trigger its headlines beast in the second stage. So yeah, what'd you guys think of this? It's a more Cuphead, more challenging boss battle levels here.
Oh yeah, no. This looked good. We've already have seen a bit of gameplay, but they're really showing out. I think her name is Miss Chalice, and just showing off because I think it's her ability. She comes with double jump naturally, so you don't have to use any of the perk slots.
Yeah.
Oh.
I suck at this game, but I love the art style. That's the thing. They did such a good job with the art style.
Yeah.
It's been so long though. It's taken so long, and like it's a beautiful looking game. I will say that like I've seen it already before, so like it's not as flashy as it once was because we've seen it, and we've also been teased a bit for a very long time.
Yeah.
Still awesome though. It's good to have.
Yeah. So next up, Annapurna Interactive returned to Summer Game Fest with a new gameplay trailer and update for Neon White coming from developer Angel Matrix. Neon White is a hectic speedrunning first-person shooter where you sacrifice your guns for godlike parkour moves. You'll be able to play Neon White for yourself on June 16th, coming to PC and Nintendo Switch. So yeah, what did you guys think of this one?
Yeah, I mean, it has a lot of style to it. It looks interesting. Not really my type of game, but weird that it's like on Switch, not on like this. I feel like this would look better on like Xbox and PlayStation. But all right,
yeah.
I
like
and run better.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say this will run better on the Steam Deck once it's if it's not. Hopefully, it's initialized for Steam Deck over the Switch, but like the art style I like, but there's nothing from what I've seen of this game that gives me that I have to have this.
Yeah.
I mean, that's true of all first-person shooters, right?
Next up, Midnight Flight Express. Yeah. So this was from the single father developer in Portland. So, or in Poland, I'm sorry, in Poland. Yeah, Midnight Flight Express looks like the mashup of Hotline Miami and Gang Beasts. So it's an isometric action game filled with environmental hazards and over-the-top physics, all brought together with a healthy dose of hyper-violence. So, yeah, interesting stuff there. So we'll go ahead and...
Yeah, that's cool. And that one, I think, is Game Pass also.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think we saw this before, actually. Yeah, a little bit of it. So
this gives me Dead Nation vibes.
Really? Yeah, this is like more of a open world like Hotline Miami type of game. Yeah. So
yeah. Okay, yeah.
From the co-writer of Destiny 2.
There you go.
There you go, man.
I don't know if
that's what you need. Yeah.
The co-writer was like the good one. He's like, he had the good ideas, and they just like kind of screwed the rest up. And I don't know. Yeah. Destiny 2, I don't know.
The co-writer, you go sit in the corner. Your ideas are too good for this game.
Next up, we got more from Warframe. I mean, Warframe's been around for over 10 years now, so some
Yeah.
more stuff from them. So I'm going to go ahead and scroll down here. Honkai Star Rail. So I'll show you that one here next. And
This
then
is
I'll
one
read
that
the description.
I had seen before. I saw a trailer for,
Mhm.
and it's actually a turn-based, like RPG.
Yeah.
But I think
Okay.
it's online elements. I'm not 100% sure like what it is. I signed up for like there's like a beta. Actually, there's already one that exists, but
Yeah.
there's like another one coming that I wanted to check it out.
Yeah.
And this is the studio that did God, it's dropping. I lost it. What's the Genshin Impact, right?
Genshin Impact. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, or the company.
Oh,
I don't know.
okay.
It's like they're big. They're big, actually, a pretty big company. But
Yeah, Chinese company. Yeah. So
Well, they
Yeah,
made a
I
lot
mean-
off Genshin.
this looks wild and crazy, and
Yeah.
if it's a cool turn-based RPG, like however that works online, I'm not sure what they're doing with that but that's awesome. I love that with the girl, like the music guitar thing attack, whatever, cool shit, and that the train thing that happened. It's cool looking stuff.
I don't know how you would add online elements
I don't know either, yeah.
to that, like unless it's like a Bravely Default kind of thing.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone's played those.
No, I didn't. Yeah,
next up, Zenless Zone Zero. So I'll play a little bit of that.
and
one
maybe I'm
for you.
wrong about like what that game actually is as far as an online thing goes, but I thought I saw something about that.
Yeah.
This one,
Hoyoverse kept things rolling. Yeah. So
Yeah.
futuristic urban action RPG. Go ahead, Carl.
I mean, this like stylistically looks fantastic. I don't know if it's something I would want to play, but I mean, yeah, I dug this trailer a lot. Like these guys know how to cut a trailer.
Yeah. Very anime style. Yeah. So,
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I don't necessarily like. I like anime style, but I don't love it.
mhm.
But watching this, I'm like, this looks cool. This is a good job.
Yeah. So cool stuff. Yeah. So it's set to release on PC, PS4, Xbox. Actually, I'm sorry, that's another one here. So let me go ahead and there's no release date on this yet. So
Yeah, they didn't. I don't think.
No.
I'm curious. Like, will
Yeah.
either of these come to Xbox? Because Genshin Impact is not on Xbox.
No, not yet.
Yeah.
I'm sure it will at some point.
ZZZ. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Zenless Zero Zone. Yes. Then we got the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's coming. So let me play that for you. So, yeah. So this is the one. It's of course releasing on June 16th for PC, PS4, Xbox One, and the Nintendo Switch. So,
And if you caught the end, Game Pass was there on the logo.
it's going to be on Game Pass. Yep.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, there were a
Yeah,
lot of
I
games.
did catch that.
Yeah, there were a lot of games on here. I think, Carl, that you'd see the Game Pass logo on there, so they're coming.
I saw that. I'm like, well, I guess I'm playing it now because I mean, look,
on
I
June
love
16th.
like, the old Turtle games, like Turtles in Time, and of course the original Turtles arcade game.
Yeah.
Well, it's a
I
great
wasn't
games.
I wasn't gonna buy this because I mean these games are fun, but like it's like very like quick drop in action, have some fun and move on. Like I don't really play these games anymore, but like on Game Pass I would absolutely play it.
Yeah, definitely. Me too.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
But six players at once. That is kind of nice.
That's awesome, yeah. And you play online.
Yeah.
And it's funny because like it's the guys. Didn't they do Battletoads? The .emu guys, I think.
I think they did.
Or no, that was Delilah. Sorry, I think it was Delilah. I think it's funny because like they kind of put them to shame because that game didn't have online multiplayer, only like local for some reason.
Okay, next up, Humankind. So I'm going to show some of that. So here's the trailer, and 4X game Humankind made a slash as an alternative take on Civilization for PC players last year. And today, Sega and Amplitude confirmed It's coming to consoles as well. PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X and S, and Xbox One will all get Humankind on November 4th. It will be available on day one with Xbox Game Pass. So there you go, Carl. Also another one for Game Pass.
Yeah, that was another
So
one.
we also saw the release of Cultures of Latin America DLC pack on PC, which introduces 6 new cultures, and the free Boulevard patch, which brings a host of community requested features to the game. So what do you guys think of this? So Humankind, yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those, was it like the 4X strategy type games?
Yeah.
Yeah. It looks good from what I've seen other stuff of it, because I've seen the trailer for when it came to PC.
Yeah.
But hey, if it's coming to Game Pass, I have no excuse for not trying it now.
Yeah.
Other than time.
Yeah. Other than time.
Yeah. All right. Next up, One Piece Odyssey. So shown as well. So.
Was anything actually significant shown on this? I haven't.
No.
I haven't. Okay, so it's
Really?
it's just basically it's the same kind of trailer of just Luffy running.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah, I mean, I think there was a little bit of gameplay stuff at the end or somewhere in there, but it'll give you a good idea. It is a turn-based RPG, so that's cool.
Yeah. Soul Hackers 2, of course. So Atlas, of course.
Soul Hackers 2, man, that trailer was real short.
Yep.
But I mean, I think that there's a lot of style with that game, and I'm really interested in that one.
Yeah.
So turn-based RPG.
If you like turn-based and hard, Atlas is your developer.
Yeah. Next up, Capcom Arcade Stadium 2, second stadium, I should say. So Capcom unveiled the lineup of its next big classic collection, Capcom Arcade Second Stadium. So, much of the selection is led by more obscure games like Sun and Savage Bees, but the fighting game lineup is robust, including the likes of Darkstalkers, the Street Fighter Alpha series, and the cult classic wrestling game, Saturday Night Slam Masters. Collection is due to launch July 22nd. Yeah, across Switch, PS4, Xbox One, and PC via Steam. So,
I think I saw Mega Man Power Battles is in this too.
Oh, those are fun, and that's something I kind of wish like Capcom would like when they did those Mega Man Legacy collections, because they had them on the collections on the PS2 and Xbox back in the day. But then when it's like, oh, we're gonna do these new collections, Capcom just forgets about all these other games and just decides never to release them again.
Yeah, and that Knights of the Round. I played that in arcades. I remember that one. It's another. Side-scrolling beat 'em up type thing. Yeah, the Mega Man Power Battles one is one like I didn't even know existed until I was downloading all this stuff for emulators, and I was like, "Oh, what's this game?" It's a weird one for sure. There it is, Mega Man Power Battle.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Alpha 2. I like Alpha 2 a lot. That's a good one.
Yeah. I've actually not played Alpha 2. I've played Alpha 3.
Alpha 3 is on there. Alpha 3 is fantastic.
Yeah,
it's a really underrated game. Although, if this is the straight arcade game, which apparently is what they did in the last collection that had Alpha 3, that kind of sucks because Alpha 3 has a really interesting, like, sort of single player, like, world tour mode.
So, Metal Hell Singers, yeah. So, rhythm shooter. So that's also coming, yeah. Next up,
got some good music in it. You like that stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
Nightingale, of course. Yeah. Upcoming shared world survivor crafting game. So,
is there a character in that game called Florence?
If you want, Burly, probably.
Yeah, Burly. Yeah. I know you're hoping for that, Burly. Yeah.
It's what keeps me up at night. Not no.
Yeah. That game could be interesting. I don't know.
Yeah.
Saints Row.
And then we got some more Saints Row. So coming August 23rd. So we got that. So I'm kind of just skipping through some of these, but the next one I want to show.
I do kind of want to download the character creator thing. That's always fun.
Yeah. Layers of Fears. So Bloober Team again. Yeah, this is another horror.
This
horror
is
game. Yeah,
not Silent Hill. Just
No,
you know,
no.
as people keep saying, like Silent Hill's
Yeah.
coming and Bloober's doing it. Well, okay,
Yeah.
still waiting.
So similar themes, madness of artists. Made in Unreal Engine 5, the chilling and atmospheric footage seemed to echo moments from both the previous game, as we navigated a Victorian-era mansion. So recalling the first game, filled with interminable hallways, dusty parlors, melting paintings, rat-infested walkways, and old wheelchairs that pivot autonomously when bathed in moonlight, and glimpsed theater and stage scenes from the second installment. So due in 2023. So looks like a return to form for the Bloober team, guys. Yeah, so good stuff. Yeah, looks good.
Yeah.
So, yeah. It gave me some Medium vibes too from like the game The Medium. So
I was actually about to say the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
Bloober has a lot to prove because, I mean, I like the Medium. It was pretty interesting. But as far as gameplay goes and what you're actually doing in that game, there's like the hint or tease of something cooler that's just that they need to do more of. I mean, maybe they don't have an interest in making it more action. But there's cool powers and things that you had in that game that would make for some really interesting action moments. They just don't have.
Yeah.
You know, these are like sort of horror walking simulators.
Yep. Definitely. Yep. So, okay, let me go ahead and stop that one. And then next up, we got more of Gotham Knights, of course. So more Gotham Knights gameplay, but this time we got more of course, Nightwing. So, and we showed you a trailer of that previously. So, yeah, they showed more of Gotham Knights because it's coming in October.
Yeah, man, looks good, man. I'm excited.
Yep, good stuff. And then
on day one to Game Pass.
We'll see.
We'll see. I doubt it, Burly, but that would be awesome
know.
if it did. Yeah, that would be awesome if it did. Now, this was my second favorite, game that they showed off. Yeah, Warhammer 40K Dark Tide. So yeah, this is some good stuff they showed, man. Yeah,
really, Expat.
Yes, I just love
it. It is Game Pass, so I guess we'll
yeah,
all be able to try it if we want.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. 2 minutes of
I like
blood-soaked cinematics and brutal gameplay. Of course, that's all Expat wants in a game.
Yeah. I mean, look, the 40K world is really interesting, and I liked what I got in Chaos Gate.
Yeah.
This is a different side of it, But you do have the demons and stuff in this for sure.
So bloody and chaotic. I love it. It's kind of like Doom, So good stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know.
The good old chainsaw swords.
Love these type of games.
Yeah, but I mean, is there a single player to this? I don't even know.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, so
I know it's a multiplayer game.
Yeah,
I imagine there's some single player mode.
Well, I'm sure you could probably play it in single player. Yeah, so,
yeah. I mean, of course, all the stylings of 40K are cool. The weapons and stuff, the abilities. Like you get that power hammer there. This is cool.
Oh, yeah.
Those are cool things.
Yeah.
But I'm not impressed by the first person gameplay because it's just I feel like first person shooter. Yeah, I get it. There's melee and there's some powers.
Well,
so
that's
cool.
what I love about it, man. Just the chaotic melee and running and and just trying to survive and just blowing up all these look like zombies and other type of monsters. So fun stuff. Yeah. So and on Game Pass, of course. Yeah. So on September 13th. So good stuff. All right, and next up, here we go. Carl, I know you're going to have some things to say about this. Yeah, the finale. So,
all right,
The Last of Us
show.
So we get this concept art of my home city of San Francisco, obviously in the background there, or in the foreground, I should say. And Yeah, I mean it's more of The Last of Us basically, and it's going to be in multiplayer now. So for PS5. So and they said we'll be hearing more about it later on, probably next year. We'll hear more about it. But I don't know, what were your guys' takes on this? And then of course, The Last of Us. We got the one little scene there of you know Joel and Ellie. So from the HBO series, and then of course the announcement of The Last of Us Part 1 coming to PS5. So Burley, what did you think of that?
You know what? This will be odd. I know some people think. The first Last of Us game's multiplayer, I really enjoyed.
No, I've heard that from a lot of people. Yeah.
The multiplayer, the multiplayer of how they do it, and then like if you're like, the more you're winning, you get actual like benefits and stuff, and more you play. It was a lot of fun. It's something I really enjoyed.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be happy that they're going to be like, hey, we want, because they guaranteed they're going to charge you for this, and it's not going to be the $79 price for me. This is going to be the $89, so this is going to be $100. And I'm going to be like, yeah, no, I'm not paying for this.
Yeah, I mean, they're saying it's going to be as big as one of their single player projects and has its own story, and it's really ambitious. So, I expected that it would be that. I expect it's going to be a full price game. So to me, that's not like, if people are thinking it won't be, like, I think you're setting yourself up for disappointment, and maybe you should expect it to be $70, and then if it isn't, then you'll be happy. You'll be pleasantly surprised. I think, okay, overall, this bit that Sony gave the show, I think really did them a disservice, because it wasn't a great way to end the show, because you had a very lengthy interview period. And what you showed during during the majority of that was a piece of concept art for your multiplayer game. You're very much talked about and pushed back, delayed multiplayer game,
and the still of course, Pedro Pascal and
one still
Bella Ramsey,
from a TV show. Okay, remind you we're at a gaming thing here, and then a trailer with some gameplay, a little of the remake of Last of Us Part 1.
Right.
This was not a lot of content and not really exciting for the finale of your showcase. And look, I can't really blame Jeff Keighley. Like, Sony gives you something, and Sony's huge and first party, console, and they want to give you something for the show, and that's the thing. And I'm assuming they probably wanted it to be the end of it, right? It just wasn't enough for me, that's for sure. Even funny that, like, I'm like, can you get? I would take a trailer for the HBO show. Like, I would have liked that.
Yeah.
I'd rather have that.
Give us like the 10 to 20 seconds of something.
Something, right? A scene, like a couple seconds of a scene or something. They give you that one still. To be honest, the girl Bella, is that her name?
Bella Ramsey.
Yeah, playing, like, you picked a pretty bad angle for her there. She's looking at a weird face going on, like, from the side, like, I'm like, what are you doing here?
Oh yeah, you could have just given us even just a simple little thing of just them meeting. Hi, I'm Joel. I'm Ellie. Give us something. Like, give us that. The internet would explode because of the fan base for The Last of Us. This just seemed like Sony had some shit, and we're like, well, we didn't want to throw this in our state of play. Here, Keighley, you use it.
Yeah.
You put it at the end of the show because we want to be remembered. We're fucking Sony. Like,
that's felt like that.
Yeah.
And the Last of Us remake, look, does it look good? Yes, but when you see it quickly like this, I'm like, it doesn't look that much better than the remaster, right?
Yeah.
Now, when I go and look, I've looked at side by side comparison shots, and I'm like, yes, I see what you're doing. It looks very significantly better, but you really have to sit there and look at it, because the difference is like really great artistic style from the previous version going to like really great now, like full on like 3D model, like, because some of it, like you could tell like texturing is doing a hell of a lot of work on the old one, and now this one looks much more realistic as far as the models, the character models. But it's I think it's a game that like you really need to show gameplay. You need to show me how this game feels better. What did you do to make it feel better? Because visually speaking, the game already looked great. So like making it look even better doesn't really change too much.
Yeah, well, just, I mean, the fact that this game has been out for what, about 10 years now?
Yeah.
And they're just milking it for more money by putting it on PS5 and, try and get people. Yeah, of course, there's probably, millions of gamers out there, new gamers that have never played The Last of Us. So, and they're
next year it'll be 10 years since the first game came
and
out.
you might have some new gamers that are getting their first console, which might be a PS5. So yeah, of course.
Yeah, but you get it then if you get PS Plus with the freaking PlayStation Plus collection, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, it's just, it was. I just thought it was not the greatest look to finish the show for Sony, especially. I mean, give us more gameplay of Ragnarok or something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, there's
that's scene.
Of course,
Ragnarok,
now
we have no.
Bloomberg is now saying, of course, that the release date is imminent now, that it's going to be in November. So why not just show us gameplay, and then when they're ready to show the release date, throw the release date out there. But at least give us some gameplay of that instead of showing us a game that's being remade that's over 10 years old next year. I mean, it's just I mean, that just goes back to my previous argument that I've talked about time and time again on this podcast. It's like, show us new IP, show us new games. Yeah. I mean, he's talking about, Druckmann's talking about the multiplayer that's going to be coming, and they're talking about, we have multiple projects in the works, and Keeley was like, oh, multiple projects. Oh, wow. So it's like, well, then give us some concept art for those. So I mean, so go ahead, Carl.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I'd like to see at least a title, or something, right? That would be something, but that's not what you're gonna do, I guess, for the show. That's something you say for your own show, and I think we're seeing that now from this showcase, that the majority of the publishers, developers want to keep all their best stuff for their own events.
Right.
So like, you can, if you want to criticize,
which makes sense that Microsoft and Sony are both going to want to keep stuff for them. We totally understand and get that.
Right.
Yeah.
And
but now, because now we've handled it so sloppily.
I agree. Because of the length of the interview compared to what they actually showed. That's the real problem there.
Right.
See, what we're seeing is that like E3 used to be, you can put big, third party stuff at a first party event, for example. But I feel like we're seeing a lot less of that in general. And it's because they're all doing their own events. And even if they delayed them, like Ubisoft, EA, whatever, they're going to do them eventually. And they're going to keep their stuff for those shows. Like Skull and Bones, we didn't see. And but we knew that because Ubisoft said we're not going to be there.
Right, they're going to be somewhere sometime later this year.
Right, and it's like it's very clear that at this point, the way things are, whoever you are, whatever developer, as long as you're significant enough size, publisher, you make an event, it will get covered. It doesn't need to be anywhere else attached to anything. Even with like State of Play, like you don't need to. Like the Harry Potter thing was weird because like I don't think that game doesn't need to be attached to a Sony event to get coverage. It will get coverage anyway, and obviously it's part of the marketing deal, and that's why that happens. But
yeah. So do you think more in the future, more of Jeff Keighley's shows are going to become more just third-party events, whereas you'll see Sony doing more of their own show, Xbox is doing their own stuff? I mean, more just everything that's going to be shown at his showcases are going to be predominantly third party.
Yeah, it seems that way. Obviously, like the Game Awards got something from Xbox, twice in a row. I do, this time he got nothing from Xbox.
Yeah.
People have speculated there might be something, and then that would, kind of set people over to the Xbox showcase. But he mentioned the Xbox Bethesda showcase multiple times during this show.
Yes.
It's like they didn't even have to give him something to like prompt him to do that, because he wants people to look at all the summer events as part of this Game Fest, which they really aren't. But that's the idea he wants. He wants it to be like an E3.
Yeah.
And maybe one day it will be that, and then maybe once it's bigger, then they might give him something bigger.
Yeah.
But it's because the Game Awards gets more eyes that's why they want to put at least something there. Yeah. Versus here, when you're so close to your own event, they're like, well, why bother? Like, make everyone watch my event.
And it's going to be interesting to see how the opening night live for Gamescom is going to be. Is it going to be similar to what we just saw? I mean, or is it going to be different in any way? I don't know. We'll see. Jeff Keighley, he does. Let me finish, Burly. He does. He does look at the feedback for these shows, and he's trying to improve on his shows the best he can. But who knows? We'll see. Go ahead, Burly.
I was going to say, I think Gamescom, this is a preview for Gamescom. Mm-hmm. We're gonna see more and more of these. Just that they're gonna, if Sony and Microsoft decide to ever give them anything, they'll get like the scraps.
Yeah. And
more, they're just gonna save everything for their events. Yeah. And as Carl was kind of saying earlier, you don't need these kind of events. Like if I was Sony and I want to release the trailer of God of War, it's gonna be trending on. I just say we're gonna do a thing. Release the trailer. You could stealth release the trailer of God of War. Just put it out. It'll be trending on Twitter in 5 minutes. The internet will explode. IGN, all the other gaming news things will be racing towards that. You don't need that in nowadays. Early 2000s, when the internet was still kind of infancy, yeah, and stuff. But nowadays, you don't.
Another interesting thing too, because we talked about Kojima, in last week's episode, thinking, when we gave our predictions, and there was that leak of his new game, and basically he wanted the publishers to unpublish that leak and all. And
that article.
I wonder if the article, and I wonder if he called Keighley and said, because of that, I'm sorry, I can't show my game at your show, and probably they scrapped it. Maybe that's why they had Neil Druckmann on for as long as he was on. Who knows?
I mean, you never know.
It's a possibility.
Yeah.
I'd actually tend to believe that he scrapped. He's like, I don't want to show this yet, and my the way it got shown was not the way I wanted, not my artistic way of doing the way I wanted to first show it. So I'll hold back. And
because he probably felt, and in Japanese culture, he probably felt sabotaged. Yeah. And when you feel, and here in Japanese culture, when you feel sabotaged, you're pretty angry. And so, I probably bet he did not want to be on the show.
Yeah, and that is the thing. Like, I got that feeling of the idea that they wanted him to take down the article, that it is a cultural thing, and that's why, like, when he said he wasn't going to do it, I'm like, you're kind of being a dick. Because what does it matter? Like, it's already out there. You got your piece. People aren't. It's not like that disappeared. Yeah. It happened. You should maybe do the nice thing and like just he doesn't. Like I said, it's culturally like he doesn't want that out there. Yeah. Then just do it. It doesn't hurt you. This isn't serious journalism.
But that's the cultural reaction out here.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter. Now,
So.
I kind of feel like if he had a really big game to reveal, maybe he actually would have been in the room with Keeley.
Yeah.
So I don't know, like, but that maybe logistically that wouldn't have happened. So yeah, it is possible they could have canceled something because it would have been just a video. But
so you can bet for sure that at the Game Awards he'll probably be announcing it. Or
I mean he's always at the events. So like, because you know last time Kojima was there and he had nothing. He's just like, hey guys, I'm working on a game.
Well, it was
Kojima.
Well, they were talking about Death Stranding, you know, I think it was Death Stranding for PC at that point.
I think they had the director's cut, right?
Yeah, director's cut.
Yeah, director's
cut.
But
I felt like there was one where he's just a segment where he's just talking about like, I'm working on something. It's cool. Yeah, you know, I got projects. I'm like, why are you here?
Yeah, he did. He spent like 5 minutes on that.
Yeah.
and everyone's like, okay.
Yeah.
Like,
so that's the kind of thing. It's like he's always there. So maybe, you know, Jeff Grubb still standing by that Xbox deal for some game with Kojima.
Right.
Maybe he's at the Xbox show, and that's why he's not at this one.
Could be. We'll find out tomorrow.
We'll find out tomorrow. Yeah, as well as our friend, good old Jez Gordon, he was saying that Diablo 4 is going to be announced, and there's going to be the release date for it. Yeah. So
I mean, they got to show that game, and that's a big place to show it.
See. We shall see. Yeah, I would be happy if they do give a release date for that. So, anyway, so of course, my pick of the show was Callisto Protocol. I'm so excited to play that game, and then the Warhammer, you know. But Callisto Protocol, man, that was my game of the show. What was your game of the show, Burly?
I have to agree, Callisto Protocol, because like out of all of them that I went back and rewatched stuff, and it that has me interested in keeping me want to buy. It's
especially
Callisto.
With that gameplay trailer they showed. Yeah, that was
we got gameplay, and a lot of these games here are games we already knew. Yeah, like a good amount were games we knew, and like the Last of Us 1 remake. Just my quick thoughts is like, this is dumb that this is being remade. You already have the PS4 version. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I would have thought if anything, you're going to spend your money, you would make the PS5 enhanced version of Last of Us 2. That would be the more logical, but hey, I'm sure that the Last of Us 1 PS5 is going to sell well. Yeah. People.
Yeah, I mean, just lower that price. Like, that's the biggest problem with it.
Just make it $29.
Full price game. And on top of that, they're selling like $100, special edition.
Like I said, they're just milking it for as much as another 10 years they're going to make another. Like it's another remake which had footage from the first game 15 years ago that was never put in at the beginning. We're going to put it in now, and they're going to still sell it for like $89 by then.
The only way that would kind of make things a little more interesting for me is if they actually got the actors for the show being used in this, because then you could tie it with that. No, I agree. No one wants that, but like I meant, that would make it different enough to make it more interesting to try and sell it. But they'll never do it because people were so pissed that when the casting came out, Pedro, I still remember people were pissed that.
What did they think?
What's his face? The voice actor was not going to be coming.
What, Troy Baker?
I mean, no one does that. That's incredibly rare. I mean, like Halo did it for Cortana. I mean, it's very, very rare to do that.
Yeah. So, Carl, what was your game of the show? If it wasn't Callisto Protocol, what did you like the most?
Yeah, I mean, obviously that was the one for me. Yeah.
Okay.
Because
so we're all in.
I was
consensus.
Sold on it. But if I have to say something else, I like Street Fighter 6. I like the way it looks. I'm an old fan of that franchise, and like I want to play more. Will I? I mean, I don't know, because like fighting games for me was like me and my buddies playing like those games together in the same room, and it doesn't really happen in my life anymore. But I would love to recapture that feeling.
Carl, I thought you were going to say, you're in your older days back then, the Fight Club or something. Yeah. So.
Fight Club.
Well, the first rule. You don't talk about that, Expat. Come on.
Yeah, right.
I can
once,
talk about anything, man. Yeah.
I once randomly wrestled with some Russian kids in a playground near my house one night. I don't know. It was a random ass thing that happened in my life. I didn't know who they were. They were wrestling. They were actually knew what they were doing. They were real wrestlers.
But Carl, I could talk about a lot of random ass things in my life, but there's too many, and it would take too much time to go over. So, anyway, all right. So it's time to move on now to our picks of the week. So you can check out our picks of the week and all of the week's new game releases over at releases.com. So we're going over the week of June 13th through the 19th. So Carl, you are first.
Why are you always making me go first?
Because the game in alphabetical order is yours
man.
First.
Okay. Next time I'm gonna pick a game specifically with a letter that comes later.
Good. Right. So Final Vendetta, go for it, Carl.
I got it. Final Vendetta is a hard-hitting, action-packed beat-em-up in the vein of classic arcade titles, featuring stunning pixel art and a thumping soundtrack with exclusive tracks from Utah Saints. Brawl with bad dudes and tough girls as you fight through dangerous environments. Yeah, man, this has got that Streets of Rage vibes to it.
Yeah.
And I like there's a comboing sort of system to it, right? It looks like there's more to the gameplay than there's really ever been in these type of games. So that's the reason that I picked this game.
Cool. Yeah, you picked it because of the tough girls, right, Carl? Yeah.
I mean, who doesn't like a tough girl?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess some people, but
I was going to say there are some people.
Strong women, man. They're good. Strong women are great.
But those people are wrong.
Definitely. Yeah. Good stuff. All right. Okay, Burly, your game. What's up? What do you got?
So my game is Red Out 2, coming Thursday, June 16th to PC, PS4, PS5, Switch, Xbox One, and Xbox Series. The fastest racing game in the universe. Red Out 2 is a tribute to classic arcade racing games and the sequel to critical acclaimed Red Out. Reach impossible speeds in exhilarating futuristic races across extensive single-player campaign and competitive multiplayer.
Nice.
Is it?
Kind of reminds me. Yeah, it reminds me of Wipeout.
This reminds me of Wipeout, and just who doesn't like to just go zany fast? Just
I do think they tried really hard to make it sound like it. Why is it Red Out? What is that? Wipeout, yes. Red Out? I don't know.
Well, they're trying to go as close to the name as you can without
ripping it off, right?
Let's probably be honest.
Without copyright.
Yeah.
Exactly,
yeah. All right. Okay, so my pick of the week is Starship Troopers. I'll go ahead get that up here. So Starship Troopers Terran Command. So Starship Troopers Terran Command is a thrilling real-time strategy game set in the Starship Troopers movies universe. Take command of the mobile infantry and do your part in the war against the arachnid threat. Ensure that human civilization, not insect, dominates the galaxy now and always. So it comes out on June 16th for PC. So yeah. Who doesn't like Starship Troopers? I mean, come on.
Oh, I love that movie. It's so good. Yeah. The original, obviously not.
I haven't seen that. I haven't seen it in originals.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Years.
You've never seen it?
No, I meant to say I must have had a stroke or something. I meant to say I haven't seen that movie in years. It's so good.
Okay, yeah,
the first. I've never seen the sequels. I've only seen the first.
I didn't want to ruin the idea. Yeah. I didn't say the release date of Final Vendetta is June 17th, and that's everything, all consoles, all NPC.
Cool. All right, so we have some, of course, announcements. Obviously, of course, tomorrow we're going to be doing our Xbox and Bethesda Games Showcase. Of course, we're going to be multi-streaming that to our YouTube channel and to Twitch and to Twitter. So please come and check that out and have fun watching it with us. So all the announcements for that. It's going to be about an hour and a half. So come and check that out with us. So we're really looking forward to it. And of course, Burly and I, we did our last episode review of Star Wars, of course, Obi-Wan Kenobi on our Star Wars Republic show, which is up on Patreon now. So some things can't be forgotten. So part 4 review, it's our spoiler review of the Obi-Wan Kenobi series. So please check that out. And of course, we are also going to be, after this recording, Burly and I, of course, Carl, unfortunately, he cannot join us for this one. He's got some family obligations to take care of this time, but hopefully he'll be with us next week. Burly and I are going to be covering the episode 1 of Miss Marvel. So our spoiler review of that. So stay tuned. That will go up to our Patreon in early access. And then, of course, after it goes public, it will be on our YouTube channel. So you can check it out there as well. And of course, on Monday, Burly and I will be doing our episode 6 review of Star Trek Strange New Worlds. So lift us where suffering cannot reach. So it was a really good episode. So we're going to be talking about that. So please stay tuned for that. It's a really good episode. So
I feel like this. I love this episode too. I feel like the show in the last last 2, has really shown that like the writers are like getting into their groove and really understanding what the show should be, how to utilize the characters, and how to tell interesting, like little small scale stories.
Yeah, it's good stuff. So stay tuned for that. It will go up to our Patreon in early access, and then it will go to, of course, our YouTube channel. So stay tuned for that. All right. So now it's time to end the show with our indie recording artist spotlight. So this week's spotlight is on Out of Flux. Playing with the differences and similarities between future beats and lo-fi, Out of Flux combines the impact of modern chord progressions with organic percussion to create a contemporary, immersive, and cinematic atmosphere. From the title song of his album called Chaos at the Starship. So this has been The Arena, a multi-platform gaming news podcast, episode 90. I've been your host, Expat, along with my co-hosts, Burly of Burly Gaming and Turn-Based Carl. We hope to catch you in the next one. And of course, our Xbox Bethesda Games Showcase coverage comes tomorrow on our YouTube channel and on our Twitch and Twitter. So stay tuned for that. So we hope to catch you for that. And of course, we'll have all the news of what was shown next week on the podcast. So take care, everyone. Peace out.
Take care, everyone.